crypto, coin, PiCoin, Web3, Pi network. These are not just keywords defining a new technology, but signals of a financial revolution that is unfolding globally. One vision that has begun capturing the imagination of pioneers worldwide is the idea of PiCoin ATMs, where pioneers can walk into a local bank or ATM center and withdraw PiCoins with the same ease as fiat currency. Have you ever imagined walking into your local bank and withdrawing PiCoins just like cash? What if I told you that PiCoin ATMs might be closer to reality than you think? And what if this could completely change how millions of people around the world access their digital money? If you're a Pi network pioneer wondering when you'll finally be able to use your PiCoins in the real world, if you're curious about the future of crypto ATMs, or if you want to know exactly how Pi network is positioning itself to become the most accessible cryptocurrency on the planet, then you're in the right place. In today's video, I'm going to answer your most pressing questions. Are PiCoin ATMs actually possible? What would they mean for the Pi network community? How close are we to seeing them in our neighborhoods? And most importantly, what does this mean for you as a pioneer? But here's the exciting part. I'm also going to share some breaking news about Pi network's current progress that most people don't know about, reveal why the crypto ATM market is exploding right now, and explain exactly how Pi network is uniquely positioned to take advantage of this massive opportunity. Let's first greet and welcome to all my amazing Pi pioneers from every corner of the world. Whether you're tuning in from Papua New Guinea, the US, India, Nigeria, the Philippines, Canada, Kenya, or any other part of this incredible planet, I see you and I appreciate you. Before we dive in, do me one small favor. Hit that subscribe button and tap the notification bell so you never miss a single update about the Pi revolution. And in the comments, type Pi network to the moon along with your country and flag. Let's show the world how strong, diverse, and unstoppable our global Pi community truly is. Thanks so much for being part of this movement. Let me start with some incredible news that shows just how serious Pi network has become. Right now, as we speak, over 13.7 million people have successfully migrated to the Pi mainnet after completing their identity verification. Think about that number for a second. That's more than the entire population of many countries. But here's the really exciting part. Pi network just announced that they're launching the open network in the first quarter of 2025. This means we're just weeks away from a major milestone that could change everything for Pi network. Now, you might be wondering, what does this have to do with ATMs? Well, let me tell you why this timing is absolutely perfect. While Pi network has been quietly building its foundation, something incredible has been happening in the cryptocurrency world. The global crypto ATM market has exploded. We're talking about growth from $182 million in 2023 to a projected $5.45 billion by 2030. That's a 63.4% growth rate every single year. And get this, just in the past year, 2,217 new Bitcoin ATMs were installed worldwide. That's more than 6 new ATMs every single day. The total number of crypto ATMs globally has now reached 38,768 machines. But here's where it gets really interesting for us Pi network pioneers. You see, while Bitcoin ATMs have proven that people want physical access to their digital money, they have some serious problems. High fees, complicated processes, and limited accessibility. This is where Pi network's vision becomes absolutely brilliant. Remember, Pi network was built from day one with a simple mission: make cryptocurrency accessible to everyone. While other cryptocurrencies require expensive mining equipment or technical knowledge, Pi network chose a different path. They made it possible for anyone with a smartphone to mine Pi coins. This same philosophy, accessibility for everyone, is exactly what's needed to solve the problems with current crypto ATMs. Imagine this scenario. You're traveling in a different country and you need some local cash. Instead of dealing with expensive currency exchange rates and fees, you walk to a PiCoin ATM verify your identity quickly, and withdraw local currency using your Pi coins. The transaction is fast, the fees are minimal, and it works exactly like a regular ATM. Or picture this. You're in a remote area where traditional banking is limited, but there's a PiCoin ATM available. Suddenly, you have access to your digital wealth, converted to cash whenever you need it. This isn't science fiction. This is the natural evolution of what Pi Network has been building. Now I know what some of you might be thinking. This sounds too good to be true. Is it really possible? Let me break down the technical requirements and show you why Pi Network is uniquely positioned to make this work. First, blockchain integration. Pi Network's blockchain is designed to handle real-world transactions efficiently. Unlike Bitcoin, which can be slow and expensive, Pi Network's architecture is built for practical, everyday use. Second, security systems. Pi Network already has robust KYC processes in place. This means the identity verification systems needed for ATM compliance are already being developed and tested. Third, user-friendly design. Pi Network's entire ecosystem is built around making cryptocurrency simple for regular people. This user-first approach is exactly what's needed to create ATMs that your grandmother could use. Here's something most people don't realize about existing crypto ATMs. They're not perfect, but they're incredibly successful. Bitcoin ATMs often charge fees between 5% to 20% per transaction, and people are still using them in record numbers. This tells us two important things. First, there's massive demand for physical access to cryptocurrency. Second, there's huge room for improvement. Pi Network has the opportunity to learn from these existing models and create something better. Lower fees, easier processes, and wider accessibility. Exactly what the Pi Network community would expect. Let's talk about what PiCoin ATMs could mean for the global economy. We're not just talking about convenience, we're talking about financial inclusion on a massive scale. In many parts of the world, traditional banking is still limited or expensive. But almost everyone has a smartphone. Pi Network has already shown that it can reach people in underbanked regions. Adding ATM access would complete the circle, giving these communities full access to both digital and physical money. For cross-border payments, PiCoin ATMs could be revolutionary. Instead of expensive wire transfers that take days, you could send Pi coins instantly to someone in another country, and they could withdraw local cash from a Pi ATM the same day. Now I want to be completely honest with you about the challenges ahead. PiCoin ATMs won't appear overnight, and there are some real obstacles to overcome. Regulatory approval is probably the biggest challenge. Every country has different rules about cryptocurrency ATMs, and getting approval takes time. However, the success of Bitcoin ATMs shows that regulators are becoming more open to crypto-friendly policies. Liquidity management is another challenge. ATMs need to have enough local currency available and stable exchange rates. But with Pi Network's growing ecosystem and community, this becomes more manageable as adoption increases. Banking partnerships will be crucial. Pi Network will need to work with traditional banks and ATM operators. The good news is that many banks are now actively looking for ways to enter the cryptocurrency space. Here are the signs that tell me PiCoin ATMs are not just possible, but likely. The Pi Network community is actively discussing real-world utility. The focus has shifted from when exchange to how can we build sustainable utility. This shows the community is ready for the next phase. Pi Network's development team continues to prioritize practical applications. The emphasis on KYC, mainnet stability, and app ecosystem development all point toward preparing for real-world integration. The crypto ATM market is exploding, proving there's demand and showing that the infrastructure is ready. If you're a Pi Network pioneer, here's what the possibility of PiCoin ATMs means for you: liquidity and flexibility. You'd have the option to convert your Pi coins to cash when needed, while still maintaining your digital holdings for long-term growth. Increased legitimacy. Having Pi ATMs in banks and public spaces would signal mainstream acceptance and could increase the value and recognition of Pi network. Global access. Whether you're traveling or living in an area with limited banking, Pi ATMs could give you access to your wealth anywhere in the world. Community growth. As Pi becomes more practical and accessible, more people will join the network, strengthening the entire ecosystem. PiCoin ATMs represent something bigger than just convenient access to digital money. They represent a bridge between the old financial system and the new decentralized economy. Think about it. For most people, cryptocurrency still feels abstract and complicated. But ATMs are familiar. Everyone understands how to use an ATM. By making Pi coins accessible through ATMs, Pi Network would be making cryptocurrency feel normal and approachable for millions of people. This could be the key to mass adoption that the entire cryptocurrency industry has been searching for. A bright future awaits Pi. Have you ever thought about the future of Pi when the whole world will be using this coin? Pi is building a revolutionary peer-to-peer economy with no banks, no borders, and no barriers. Sounds amazing, right? They claim millions of people are already using Pi for real transactions, buying groceries, paying for healthcare, even purchasing vehicles. But here's where it gets interesting. I've been digging deep into these claims, and what I found will surprise you. Pi Network launched in 2019, that's almost 6 years ago. Yet, if you try to find Pi on Binance, Coinbase, or any major exchange, you won't find it. Zero. Nothing. Why? Because Pi tokens aren't actually tradable yet. Think about it. Bitcoin was created in 2009 and was on exchanges by 2010. Ethereum launched in 2015 and was trading immediately. But Pi, still waiting. The mobile mining they promote isn't real mining either. Real cryptocurrency mining requires massive computer power and electricity. But Pi, you just tap a button once a day. If it were that simple, wouldn't everyone be crypto millionaires by now? Here's what's really happening, and this is crucial. The Pi you're mining on your phone exists only in the Pi app. It's not on any real blockchain that you can verify. It's like playing a game where you collect points, but those points can't be used anywhere else. Now, let's talk about the marketing genius behind Pi Network. They've created one of the most brilliant referral systems in crypto history. Every user becomes a promoter because they earn more Pi by inviting friends. It's network marketing disguised as cryptocurrency mining. This is exactly how the whales trick you. They create excitement, urgency, and fear of missing out. They share stories of people supposedly buying cars with Pi, but where's the proof? Where are the verified transaction records? In real cryptocurrencies, every transaction is publicly visible on the blockchain. The most telling sign? Pi Network has raised millions of dollars from investors, but they won't tell you exactly how much or from whom. Real crypto projects are transparent about their funding and development. I've seen countless YouTube videos and social media posts claiming Pi will reach $1, $10, even $100. But here's the truth. These are just dreams without any real foundation. No one knows what Pi will be worth because it's not even a real tradable asset yet. The global consensus value they talk about? It's just a number they made up. It's not based on real market demand or trading volume like other cryptocurrencies. Let me share what I discovered when I investigated the real-world adoption claims. I searched for verified Pi merchants, documented transactions, and independent proof of Pi being used for commerce. The results were disappointing. Most of the merchant stories come from Pi Network's own social media or unverified user posts. I couldn't find independent news sources confirming these massive adoption claims. Compare this to Bitcoin or Ethereum. You can easily find thousands of verified merchants, clear transaction data, and independent reporting about their use. With Pi, the evidence is mysteriously missing. The KYC process they mention? It's been going on for years with no clear end date. They claim it's for security, but it's also a perfect way to delay actually delivering on their promises. Here's a shocking fact. After almost 6 years, Pi Network still hasn't published a proper white paper explaining their technology. Bitcoin's white paper was available from day one. Ethereum's too. But Pi? They give you marketing materials instead of technical documentation. The whales are tricking you using powerful psychological techniques. First, they use the early adopter strategy. They make you feel special for being part of something before it goes mainstream. This creates emotional attachment. Second, they use social proof. When you see 60 million users, you think it must be legitimate. But remember, downloading a free app and actually using a cryptocurrency are very different things. Third, they exploit the fear of missing out. They constantly suggest that Pi will explode in value, making you afraid to stop mining. This keeps you engaged even when logic says something's wrong. The phone mining concept is genius from a marketing perspective. It makes cryptocurrency seem accessible and easy, but it's also completely fake. Real cryptocurrency requires real resources, computing power, electricity, and network security. They've created a virtual economy where Pi has value only within their ecosystem. It's like casino chips. They're valuable inside the casino, but try spending them at a grocery store. I reached out to several blockchain experts and cryptocurrency analysts to get their views on Pi Network. The responses were eye-opening. Most experts classify Pi Network as a social experiment rather than a real cryptocurrency. They point out that the fundamental technology claims don't match reality. One blockchain developer told me, Pi Network has all the characteristics of a project that's more focused on user acquisition than actually building functional technology. Another expert explained, the fact that Pi tokens aren't transferable or tradable after 6 years is a huge red flag. It suggests they either don't have working blockchain technology or they're deliberately controlling the supply. The consensus among cryptocurrency professionals is clear. Pi Network makes promises that don't match their actual technical capabilities. But here's what's really interesting. Some experts believe Pi Network might eventually become a real cryptocurrency. They have the user base and the funding. The question is whether they actually want to deliver on their promises. To be fair, let me present Pi Network's perspective. They claim they're taking a careful, gradual approach to avoid the problems that other cryptocurrencies have faced. They argue that their KYC process ensures real users and prevents fraud. They say their closed ecosystem protects early adopters from market manipulation. Pi Network also claims they're building real utility before launching on exchanges. They want to create actual use cases rather than just speculation. These arguments sound reasonable, but they raise important questions. Why does building utility require keeping the cryptocurrency completely non-transferable? Why can't users even send Pi to each other after 6 years? Other successful cryptocurrencies manage to launch functional networks much faster. Ethereum went from idea to working blockchain in less than 2 years. Solana did it even faster. Pi Network's timeline suggests either technical incompetence or deliberate delays. Neither option is encouraging for investors. The truth is, building a real cryptocurrency is hard, but it's not impossible. Many teams have done it successfully. Pi Network's extended development time is unusual in the crypto world. Let's talk about the risks that Pi Network supporters don't want to discuss. The biggest risk is that you're spending years of your time for potentially nothing. Every day you spend mining Pi is a day you could be investing in proven cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin or Ethereum. The opportunity cost is real and significant. There's also the personal data risk. The Pi app collects extensive information about you through the KYC process. If Pi Network fails or gets hacked, your personal information could be compromised. The referral system creates another risk. If you're actively promoting Pi Network to friends and family, you're putting your relationships at stake. What happens to those relationships if Pi never delivers? Financial experts warn about the sunken cost fallacy. Just because you've invested years in mining, Pi doesn't mean you should continue. Sometimes the best decision is to cut your losses. The regulatory risk is also significant. If Pi Network eventually launches and regulators classify it as an unregistered security, early adopters could face legal problems. So, what should you do? Here's my honest advice based on the evidence. If you're currently mining Pi, treat it as a lottery ticket, not an investment. Don't spend money on Pi-related products or services. Don't make financial decisions based on potential Pi gains. Continue mining if it costs you nothing but time, but don't let it stop you from investing in proven cryptocurrencies. Diversify your crypto portfolio with established coins that have real market value. Most importantly, do your own research. Don't rely on Pi Network's marketing materials or social media hype. Look for independent sources and expert opinions. If Pi Network eventually launches on major exchanges and proves its technology works, you can always buy Pi with real money. You don't need to mine for years to participate. The cryptocurrency market offers many opportunities. Bitcoin, Ethereum, and other established cryptocurrencies have proven track records and real market value. Remember, the best investment opportunities rarely require you to wait years for basic functionality. Real cryptocurrencies work from day one. Pi Network represents a broader trend in the cryptocurrency world. Projects that prioritize marketing over technology. They're not alone in making big promises with limited delivery. This is why the whales are tricking you. They create excitement around projects that may never deliver real value. They profit from your attention and engagement while you wait for promises to be fulfilled. The cryptocurrency industry is full of legitimate projects creating real value. But it's also full of projects that exist primarily to generate hype and collect personal data. Pi Network's approach is particularly clever because it doesn't ask for your money up front. Instead, it asks for your time, attention, and personal information. In today's economy, these are valuable commodities. The real question isn't whether Pi Network will succeed, it's whether you want to bet years of your life on a project with such uncertain prospects. Smart investors focus on opportunities with clear timelines, proven technology, and transparent operations. Pi Network fails on all three criteria. The cryptocurrency world has seen many projects similar to Pi Network. Some eventually delivered on their promises, but many more disappeared or failed to launch. The key lesson from crypto history is that successful projects demonstrate real functionality early. They don't ask users to wait years for basic features. Bitcoin worked as a payment system from its first day. Ethereum processed smart contracts from launch. Successful cryptocurrencies prove their value through actions, not promises. Pi Network's approach is unusual in the crypto world. Most projects that take this long to deliver basic functionality never recover from the delays. The mobile mining trend that Pi popularized has been copied by dozens of other projects. Most of them have also failed to deliver real value to users. This pattern suggests that mobile mining might be fundamentally flawed as a cryptocurrency distribution method. Real mining requires real resources for good reasons. Let's consider what might happen with Pi Network. There are several possible scenarios, and you should be prepared for all of them. Best case scenario. Pi Network eventually launches on major exchanges and becomes a functional cryptocurrency. Early miners receive valuable tokens. This is possible, but increasingly unlikely given the delays. Moderate scenario. Pi Network launches, but with limited functionality and low market value. Early miners receive tokens worth less than expected. This might be the most realistic outcome. Worst case scenario. Pi Network never launches on exchanges or launches with such limited functionality that tokens become worthless. This is a real possibility given the technical challenges. The probability of each scenario depends on factors we can't fully evaluate: Pi Network's actual technology, their financial situation, and regulatory pressures. What we do know is that the longer Pi Network delays, the more likely the negative scenarios become. The cryptocurrency market moves fast, and projects that can't keep up often get left behind. The truth about Pi Network is complex. It's not definitely a scam, but it's also not definitely legitimate. It exists in a gray area that should make you cautious. The whales are tricking you by creating unrealistic expectations about Pi's value and timeline. They benefit from your continued engagement regardless of whether Pi succeeds. My recommendation? Treat Pi Network as entertainment, not investment. If you enjoy the community and the mining process, continue. But don't make financial plans based on Pi's potential value. Focus your serious cryptocurrency investments on proven projects with real market value. The opportunities in crypto are enormous, but they require careful research and smart decisions. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like and subscribe for more honest cryptocurrency analysis. Share this with anyone who's been asking about Pi Network. They deserve to know the truth. Write in the comments Pi Network to the moon, along with your country name and flag if you're part of the global Pi community. Let's see how worldwide this phenomenon really is. Remember, in the cryptocurrency world, the most important skill is critical thinking. Don't let hype override your judgment. Your financial future depends on making informed decisions, not following the crowd. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video where we'll explore more cryptocurrency truths that the whales don't want you to know.